The show where there are no penalties, nothing is offside, and everything is fair game. This is The Gloves Are Off.
All right, welcome to this week's edition of The Gloves Are Off. I'm Moses Woldu, and I'm pleased to be joined by my co-host, Greg Buchanan. How are you doing today?
Not too bad, not too bad.
Excellent. And I'm pleased to be joined by a new person to Lloydminster, Chris Roberts, the new sports editor of the Lloydminster Source. How are you doing?
Pretty good. Could be worse.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, you're enjoying your time here at least,
Yeah,
right?
no, it's fun. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for coming by. I guess we'll start off with you, my friend. We'll talk about Daryl Cates. Getting underway, of course, visiting Seattle. Said he was just hanging out with some of his Oiler buddies and going to watch a game. But really, that wasn't the case. He was meeting with a couple officials, thinking of moving the team to Seattle. Well, it was more so of a threat, but it backfired on him. There was a huge backlash. Your thoughts on that, guys?
I don't think it's such a big deal. I mean, they're not going anywhere. I mean, it was just maybe a dumb play on his part, but no reason to worry in Edmonton.
Well, I think more than anything right now, the NHL doesn't need bad PR. They're getting it bad PR by Cates. You know, be it he was just going down to Seattle looking around at the same time. You know, it has a lot of people thinking Edmonton that he's not very loyal to his fans. I think you look at it as you're sitting at a dance with your girl, and then all of a sudden you look over and your girl's on the dance floor with somebody else. It's not good. I know Cates came out later and he rebutted and he said that sorry that he offended any Oilers fans for going down to Seattle. But the Oilers fans have gone through this so many times before, they don't need to go through it again, especially during a lockout.
But here's some of the things he said. You know, he said, I acted like a jerk, but it was only because City Council made me do it. Okay, when I hear those words, it doesn't really sound like an apology. It doesn't really sound to me like he's really sincere. I think he's feeling sorry because all of a sudden there's backlash and people don't like him. Not so much that he actually kind of upset Oiler fans. Would you guys agree with that?
That sounds about right. I mean, he wouldn't have went in the first place if he wasn't actually serious about it. I mean, I don't think it was just a PR move on his part. I don't know.
I think he's trying to win the battle with the fans right now. He's trying to put the ball into the city council's court and telling the fans, you know, the pressure is on the city council to give him what he wants. I'm not the bad guy, city council's the bad guy. And that's kind of how, if you read between the lines, that's how I get it.
Yeah, fans don't seem to buy it, though, and I think that's the issue, and that's why he put out those ads in the Edmonton Journal and the Sun, right? So let's move on to another guy who's had some controversy around his name recently, and of course that's Roger Goodell, the commissioner of the National Football League. He issued an apology as well last week, saying, you know what, I understand that there were mistakes made with the replacement refs. We now got an agreement done with the regular refs. Everything should be happy. But it didn't seem like he was sincere either. Your thoughts on Roger Goodell, and does the recent replacement referees debacle make him look bad? And that's why he decided to come and apologize to the fans.
It got so bad that he had to do something about it, basically. The Monday night game kind of forced the ball into his court to say he's got to do something. It does make him look bad because he always talks about, and the players talk about him coming in the dressing room saying that they want to have a certain brand to the NFL. They want to have consistent in the officiating. Of course, we didn't get that during the referee strike. So I think more than anything, yeah, it does look bad on him because it's his show.
Oh, of course it makes him look bad. I just wish it would have went on longer because it was entertaining. It was hilarious. I mean, unless you're a Packers fan, which I'm not. So
unless you were playing,
you know what?
Yeah.
A lot of people said it was like a train wreck. You watched it not because you were watching the game. You're watching because you wanted to see what officials screwed up what calls, and that's not the brand that they wanted to do. So he paid for it, of course, in the media. But this isn't the first time that Roger Goodell has done this. Remember, you got to talk about Bountygate. And the whole thing was suspending those players, and that also got overturned, making him look a little foolish. He's got a lot of power, guys. And that's the issue with a lot of the NFL Players Union, like the people, at least the front guys on the front lines there. They say he has way too much power, especially when Roger Goodell wants an 18-game schedule. Now, this stuff has popped up recently. What concessions does Roger Goodell have to make in order to get that 18-game schedule?
Well, it's going to be tough. And, you know, I can see the Players Union is not going to go for it. And how he's going to get the Players Union on his side, it's going to be difficult. I can't see what he's going to do to get it done.
He's got to relinquish some power. Is there something that he could do? Because he seems like he's the Godfather, and that's kind of the nickname he's had. He rules with an iron fist. I think he could be worse than Stalin in some cases in the way he's done it, according to some of the players. What do you think?
I don't see it happening either, and I don't know why he's not fine with the the schedule the way it is now. It works good for everyone.
Hey, you know what? Personally, in my opinion, I wouldn't mind seeing an 18-game schedule. Reduce the exhibition games. Do you really need 4?
Well, that's that thing that's always been the question in the NFL. Why do you need 4 exhibition games? With the CFL, I believe they're down to 2.
Yep.
Yeah. Why do you need 2 extra?
You're still playing the same 20 weeks, and plus adds more excitement, extra revenue for the guys. So you think it'd be a plus, right? But let's move on to the Ryder Cup, and wow, what a finish. Down 10-4, 10-6 going into the final round, and the Team Europe ends up pulling a great comeback, tying one of the greatest comebacks too as well. Was this a collapse by the Americans, or do you say Europe just had this in the bag?
I think it was a combination of both. You know, the Americans missed a lot of easy putts. They missed their short game was way off the mark. I think it was kind of a mix of both. The Americans faltered, and the Europeans kind of jumped on it and went with it.
It was just meant to happen. I mean, they were going to come back. I mean, you look at Rory McIlroy showing up maybe, what was it, 10 minutes 10 minutes before his tee time, ushered there by state troopers. Just a mix of, things coming into place for him.
That was the turning point.
Mm-hmm.
Rory getting there on time was the turning point, and the state troopers helping him out. State troopers helping out the European team to win the Ryder Cup.
Yeah, but it was pretty neat. I think it was to the point where he was kind of struggling a little bit, and I guess, hey, when you only have 10 minutes, you don't really have time to think. You just got to go play. It definitely helped him out. But what was the significant moment that turned this Ryder Cup around? Was it something even, say, the day before, or something that kind of pops into your mind?
I think Woods going 0 for 3 is one that, he's always struggled the Ryder Cup. He struggled again this weekend. I think they were hoping that he would be the go-to guy, and if they needed to, he was going to be the go-to guy, but they didn't need him.
I would have to say that, and I think it was it Poulter with the 6 straight birdies to start the day? Yeah, I mean, that too. Such a huge momentum shift. I mean, obviously that's going to help.
All right, we're going to have to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back with more Gloves Are Off.